Welcome back to Calmsden Farm, and today we are going to be chopping corn for silage. So let's roll the intro and get to work. So I'm up at the store because we needed to get the header for the forage harvester. I'm not sure how much it is, but we are probably going to need to borrow some money. It's 8 grand, so we're not far off. We'll just borrow another 5,000. We're still sitting around that 380, 400,000 pound loan mark, but we have yet to get. I guess we have got. We're putting a lot through the BGA, but it's going to take time. And we just brought a new tractor in the last video, so yeah, only a 4-meter header, but we're at the point where we can't be overly picky about the size of the equipment we have. Given the New Holland a wash, I am going to aim to keep it fairly clean so that we don't have the issue with the slightly funny textures. So yeah, corn silage, and I have not yet fixed the. I just realised, as I did the commentary for the last video about 2 or 3 hours ago, I have not fixed my manure pit problem. Because I set myself up to record this one before I went through and did that commentary. So yeah, we need to have a look at that when we get back to the yard. We might need to install some new mods. I think I'm going to give back the cash that we lose from swapping that over, because that was genuinely me being a bit dim with picking what I put in. I haven't looked yet. I thought I had put in a silage pit that looked exactly the same as that. Obviously not. I'm also waiting for an Amazon order, so if the dog bell goes, I may there may be a funny edit coming up. The Amazon lately have not been brilliant for me with their tracking information, so I would like to say it won't turn up randomly, but it might. How did we live before we had things like the Amazon app, which told us, our parcel was 3 stops away and we could watch it on the map? For me, that's quite useful, because with the 4 dogs, if I can be waiting at the door for that parcel to turn up, life is a lot less chaotic. If someone comes to knock on the door with 4 dogs in the house, chaos just ensues. The 2 collies will quite often decide to have a little fight in the middle of the house or in front of the front door. It can be utter chaos. Yeah, life with dogs. But I had totally forgotten about the fact that I need to change that manure pit, because I had thought it was a silage pit when I put it in, and it was only as I was recording the voiceover for the previous Calmsden video that I noticed that it was not. It was a manure pit. The other thing that I haven't tested, actually, there is an update to Courseplay that I have not picked up yet, which I might need to do to see if we can get Courseplay to run in that field. But first we need to sort that silage pit. Manure pit. Slurry. Yeah. There it is. Right. Let's go into the construction menu. There's very definitely say manure heap. They all say manure heap. That's too big. That's too expensive. That's way too big. Too big. Too big. It looks like we are going off to do some mod shopping. Guess we need to demolish that. And I'm going to add back in the 2,500 we lost for my stupid mistake. And then I'll be back in a moment with hopefully a new option to place a silo there. And I'm back. So I've added in a bunch of options. I have not had a look yet at which one we're going to go for. Let's see if we can find something that's going to fit in that space. What's frustrating is that pack that I installed was a bunker silo pack, and the one item I picked out from it was a manure silo. That's way too big, isn't it? Yeah, it's way too big. I guess that would fit. But that's not going to fit much silage in it, is it? That one would fit. That would not fit. That one would fit. It's kind of frustrating that I didn't put that building square now, because obviously the silos do go square. Would need to be like that, so it's going to cut a bit more out. Or we've got these, which are obviously a really cheap option. Just some tires and a bit of tarp, and we can afford those. These are even cheaper. I wonder whether we go for one of these, and we could maybe fit 2 in if we need to. I know in the Maze Plus pack there are some proper small bunker silos, so maybe we just go for one of these for now. It fits our budget. Just worried we're not going to get much in there. There's that, or one of these, and we just have to push back a bit on the land that's flattened and borrow a bit more cash. I think that's probably the better option. It feels like we'll get more in it. So you get quite a lot off of maize silage, so I wonder if we could rotate it slightly actually. No. I don't know what the difference is between these three either, but no, it's only letting me do a 90-degree rotation. And I guess we could tuck it back there. We could level that ground off. Or we do it that way. I think that's probably more sensible. Live landscaping. This, kids, is never, ever sensible. But I think, like I said in the video, the slight problem I have is that the wall there stops me doing as much landscaping. And we need to borrow a bit more money again, but that looks like it'll fit, and we can just kind of butt it up against that, and yeah, I think that'll be okay. So we need to borrow probably another 5,000 or 10,000. I'm gonna go for 10. I have no idea what the difference is between these. They're graphically slightly different. I'm nervous. I'm not going to look. And that looks okay. We need to paint some grass around there, so that the field boundary is not right up against that border. So let's do that. A little bit bigger, and yeah, we're just going to take that corner off there. So I'm not trying, and Courseplay is not trying to mow all of that. Let's put this on the road for now. I never ever like doing landscaping live. I still have the cheaty free landscaping mod in. Yeah. If you don't like that, kind of tough, I guess. Let's do a little bit of meadow along there as well. When the grass grows in, that will look a little bit better. Maybe we could put a little odd spot of bush in there as well. Who doesn't like a bush, hey? Yeah, I think that looks tolerable. And I guess the other cool thing is that potentially I don't know if it's going to let me. Obviously, you can extend silos, but because I've done that, it's not going to let me. But we're going to have to go with that one and just hope we can get it all in, I think. So we're definitely going to use the Puma for this on the Flegel trailer. Need to reset some key bindings because I've added mods in. We can get rid of auto drive. But because I swap my mod folders for every save, FarmSim counts that as adding new mods every time, so I pretty much have to reset my key bindings every time. But I can deal with that. Right. Let's see if we can get courseplay to work now, shall we? Right, I'm going to enable tabbing between those two because I'm going to be using a workup. Nice if I could use courseplay. Should probably check that I can actually forage it. Yep. Cool. So we want to do that. We need to drive into the field a bit. We'll just put the class next to it so that it picks the trailer up. Crashed out +1 already. We don't want that one tabbable. Okay. Let's just open a little bit up so that we can get into the field to get courseplay to detect that we're in a field. Cool, that should work. Oh yes, it has detected the field this time. Number of headlands. I think we want to do a lot of headlands. I think maybe 5. We'll do smooth turns just because it'll be easier, and we're going to get quite a lot. And I'm worried that it's all going to fit in the bunker anyway. Yep, that looks okay to me. Okay, we'll back up. We'll do first waypoint. I'm going to save the course as well because I'm probably going to be doing this in several stints. In fact, I know I am. This is F6 middle forage. Hit go on there. We can jump in the Puma. And that's slightly annoying. Guessing it's not quite got the working width right. No. Okay, let's manually knock that down. It's more like that. And then we need to do a new course. And we want to clear the current course. Keep the same number of headlands and stuff. And now it's gone a bit random. Yay. Try and get ourselves in the field a bit more. No. Well, that's weird. This was my fear. and it seems to have come to reality. Yeah. Let's get ourselves a bit deeper into this field. Yes, that's got it. Okay. We want to save that. Over F6 middle orange narrow. And then we'll give that a whirl. Anyone else sense that we might have a bit of fun getting started? We just need to get the cruise control set. And here we go. Maize, forage, FS22. Not quite my first time doing maize. I did do some on Ravenwood Farm. But yeah, cool, good stuff. And given how long that's taken, I think we are going to pretty quickly jump into the time lapse. I might just do a lap of the field with you guys. I think we're going to have to tuck in behind once we get up to the short run on the headland for this first pass. But I'm really pleased that that's working. We've sorted out the bunker silo. I'm sort of happy with what we've put in. Wasn't the one that I planned to use, but you know, we can't be picky on this very small yard. Long term, we might have to look at developing part of this field into the yard extension, I guess. I haven't been watching Virtual Farmers series on here. He's obviously done something very similar. He's split this field into 3. I'm not sure what he's done. He was talking about doing a yard extension into this field, and I have not seen what he's done, but I'm thinking that we might use the bottom part of the field that we had barley in if we need to extend more. I think when we put Maize Plus in, we might have to do a little bit of a remodel to get some more bunkers in. We're going to need, well, we've got 2 bunkers now, but there might be better options coming with Maize Plus. So yeah, we're going to need 2 silage pits on here at least. I say at least because I'm really not sure of the capacity of that one we've just put in. And it's not the biggest field in the world, so we're not going to get millions of litres, but we're going to get a decent amount. So yeah, might actually leave it covered until we've used up all of the grass silage bales, just to keep it fresh. But this looks like it is going to work, and we're going to get around at least one headland before we're full. We have a tractor now that is not being bossed around by the trailer. I mean, it's still a big trailer, but I'm pretty sure that the Puma is big enough that it can handle it easily. Looks good in matte black as well. I might drop the loader off the front. I think because we're not going to be using it very often, we probably don't need to leave it on. I am doing a lot less of taking loaders on and off of tractors. Something I started doing at the end of FS19 and have been sticking to for FS22, in that your average farmer will not be taking the front loader off his tractor whenever he doesn't need it, because it's a complicated job and it's not a quick job. So I've been avoiding doing that, but I think because we're not going to be using it very much between jobs, we're not doing mid-job because that would be unrealistic, but between jobs we are going to look at taking the front loader off and storing it until we need it. This is going to be a very full silo. Come on, give me some reverse gear. If we're struggling, we could always put down one of the little open tyre ones as well, just to get us a bit more space. just didn't want to do that as the first option. I think we will now jump into time-lapse mode. So future me will be with you in a bit to carry on with this silage. And here I am, and I am the other side of a 4-day bank holiday weekend. Had a cracking weekend away, staying out in the countryside with Mrs. Disturbed, and got tattooed on Saturday. Well, got a tattoo finished that has been waiting to be finished for about 10 or 12 years. I think more like 12 years, maybe even longer, because I moved away from where the tattoo studio was. So yeah, the weekend we finally went back and I got it done, and it kind of hurts at the moment, but hey, actually by the time you watch this it probably won't. But so it's Monday morning, just before I get cracking with work. You will have noticed, may not have noticed, if you're not on Discord, may not know, there are a lot less videos this week. This one is probably going to come out on Wednesday, and it might be the only video until the multiplayer comes out, depending on how the week goes. Maze Plus is in final testing. If you watch the streams, you will have heard that there were a few features that needed to be implemented, and they have been implemented, and I have a copy of Maze Plus and I am busy play testing it. And so basically all of the spare time I can find to play Farm Sim is being spent playing with Maze Plus, because part of the thing of being in the farming agency is I play in a slightly different way to some of those guys play. So yeah, it's been kind of cool to crack on and test that stuff out, and I'm predominantly doing it to find stuff to update into the PDF, which I will be working on through this week as well. Yeah, it's so good having Maze Plus back, but it means I just don't have time to make videos and do that as well. So hopefully next week things will be back to more normal. I might get a couple of videos out this week, but this might be the only one until multiplayer. Yeah, maize silage in FS22. As I said, I did do a maize silage harvest on the Ravenwood Dairy series that I did, but it feels really good to be 1 year done on here pretty much. We got our barley harvested last time, and we are into the maize now. And yeah, I am so excited for Maze Plus to come out, to be honest. It's going to change playing FS22 so much. If you played with Maze Plus in FS19, you'll know most of the stuff that's going to be in there. And if you're not familiar with Maze Plus, so back to what I'm doing on it, I've added in the contract and supply missions. I think I spoke about doing that, and the one that's available at the moment that I can complete, actually I can get a better price for it if I just sell it when the wheat price is good. So I'm not going to do that, but I'm going to keep an eye on them. They are interesting. Yeah, as I was saying, if you played Maze Plus in FS19, you will know most of the stuff that's in there. There are a couple of new additions and a couple of changes, but we'll be doing videos on those. So the plan is that the Alien Paul and I will both do introduction videos to Maze Plus. Paul will do the German one, obviously, and I will do the English one. Similar to what was included on the webpage on ModHub for Maze Plus on FS19, and they will be available through ModHub. And then there's going to be a whole series of tutorials as well, which is probably what I'm going to be working on next week. So maybe there won't be many videos for, might be a couple of weeks where there's a bit of a gap. Bear with me, I only have so much time to play this game and make content. And a bunch of you always say you're amazed how I managed to find time to make all these videos. Well, at the moment that might not happen. But Maze Plus is going to be great for playing FS. It's going to be amazing for my YouTube channel. So yeah, Paul and I are going to make a bunch of videos. They're going to be pretty similar, just with I suspect there'll be some differences because we're going to make them on our own, but they'll be covering the same kind of topics. I also believe, for those of you that would prefer it, some of the other farming agency ambassadors are going to do videos in other languages as well. I'm not sure which ones. They may take the footage from either Paul or I and do their own voiceovers on top of them. So yeah, there's going to be a whole bunch of Maize Plus related stuff coming out. And the plan is that it will release pretty much at the point that Maize Plus releases, so all the tutorials that you want will hopefully be there ready for you. I say this is going to be an awesome opportunity for my little YouTube channel. It still kind of blows my mind that just through the stuff that I've done, and you know, chatting to Paul and helping out in trying to be helpful in their community, has ended up with me being part of the farming agency and now testing Maize Plus. It's nuts. It's craziness. Back to what we're doing in game. So you'll notice that I am backing the trailer over the silage pit quite a lot, and that's basically to try and keep some compaction up, because if you've got to take a big full silage clamp from 0 compaction all the way to 100%, that's a really painful job. I made that mistake when we did the huge grass silage harvest on here, and yeah, that took me so long to get that compacted. Didn't show very much of it, but yeah, it did take a very long time. And we have a slightly bigger tractor now. I am going to, once we've got the pit done, going to go and lease a couple of bits of kit to help with compacting. But yeah, my advice is, and the reason that I often do the carting on this kind of thing is that yeah, you want to compact as you go with silage, at least to some level. Because, and one of the good things is if you've got a powerful enough tractor that you can back the loaded trailer over the silage pit, it does wonders for the compaction because it's so heavy. And weight is a big factor in compacting the silo in FS. So yeah, if you can back the trailer over the pile, it's going to really help. And we're pretty much done. And I can't actually remember how much silage we get off of here. The pit's obviously pretty full. Handily, it lets us stack it very high, so we are going to get everything in. But yeah, that's quite a lot of silage, I think, which we're going to need. We're definitely going to need it all. As I said, I think it's going to work out that hopefully when I do the convert to 1.2 and we add in precision farming, we can also add Maize Plus. So I'm going to refill that silo with actual maize silage, because if you're not familiar with Maize Plus, or there are many separate types of silage. So when you cut grass, you get grass silage. When you chop maize, you get maize silage. When you do things like barley, wheat, oats, you get whole crop silage. There are a bunch of others, we'll be doing tutorials on it. But yeah, so when we add Maize Plus into here, I'm going to make sure that this is actually maize silage, because it will probably just turn into whole crop silage rather than maize. So back the trailer in. I could do with some lights on the back of the trailer. That would be kind of helpful. Not to worry, air giants. Or some lights in the shed. I don't think there are any lights in the shed. So 266,000 litres of maize silage. Pretty happy with that. I think we could probably got another 50,000 litres in there maybe, which is good. So skipped ahead to the morning and we are off to the store to pick up some compaction kit. I'm going to lease 2 bits of kit. I could have probably just leased the one, if I'm honest, because one bit of kit is amazing at compacting silage and you really don't need anything else. So let's jump into the store, and this guy, the Weber MT, is so good at silage compaction. I brought the roller as well. I should probably got a leveler rather than a roller, I think, just to do a bit of leveling. But yeah, you only need the guy on the front. If you've got enough horsepower, you run 2 of those and you can do, you know, pretty quick silage compaction. That's what I've been doing on my testing on Maize Plus. I have a 1050 with joules and 2 of those on it. Compact silage really fast. But I'm making a lot of silage on there, so we're going to stick the manual diff locks on and bung 4-wheel drive and front and rear diffs so that we can deal with this mountain of silage and try not to fall off the clamp would probably be a good idea. Going to need to be a little bit careful with that. Yeah, it's predominantly the compactor on the front that's doing the job. You can see every pass we're gaining at least 1% of compaction, if not 2, which is just pretty good. And power requirement isn't massive for it. It is quite slow. It's got a speed limit on it, but yeah, the fact the rate it compacts makes up for that so much. It's not the neatest clamp where I've got the edges completely full. They don't seem to ever flatten, even with driving over them. But I'm not going to complain. I've recovered from my slight screw up with the manure pit rather than silage clamp, and I don't think that pit that I put in, if it had been a silage clamp, would have been big enough for all of that. Done. You can see I've worn a fairly deep groove in that, but yeah, those sides were just fixed, and I hope they're not stuck when we come to emptying the pit. Return to the least bit of kit. We're going to give this a wash, and then I think I do drop the front loader off, as I spoke about. There's a nice little spot here between the two sheds. We'll put a tarp over it to keep it nice, and yeah, seems sensible to me. And that's that field of corn done. We do need to do some work to take care of the cows now, so we're going to do some feeding and straw blowing. And then probably next episode, I think we need to go up and take a look at the greenhouses, because they've been fairly productive, and I think they're getting quite full. So we might go up and take a look at that, and the beehives. We need to get ourselves a little trailer and the skid steer, which kind of affording that might be tricky at the moment. I don't know. We need to do a fresh mix of TMR, and I have remembered that I have some mineral feed in the corner there, so we need to get some of that in. What I have found is that you actually need to have other fill types in first before it will let you put any mineral feed in, which is kind of weird. I guess mineral feed doesn't have its own fill plane in the base game, so time to use some of the silage bales up. We will of course be taking the wrapper off. One for you, Mr. Quacker. Actually, at this point I will also say thank you to the channel members and the new Patreons as well, Smock and Hilly Farms. Really appreciate you guys supporting the channel, and also thanks Quacker for the gift. That was really appreciated as well. Don't have time to play it at the moment, but yeah, thanks for doing that. It is very much appreciated. So we can now stick a bit of mineral feed in the mixer when I can find where the trigger is. I think probably need to find somewhere sort of outside that I can get to that pallet to leave it. For now, we'll put it in the shed here. I know I probably shouldn't pick it up with bale spikes, but sue me. Now let's get some hay. We'll go for one of the big round bales. That should be enough, I think. I only put one bale of hay in. I'll be getting a second. Oh, we're going to get a second small one. That's a good idea of mine. We really need to use these up. I think I'm going to make grass silage bales off of the remaining grass fields that we have. Thinking about going into Maize Plus, I think we're going to use much more silage than we will hay, so that is a job I think for next episode. We'll be doing some silage bales again. Let's get the cows fed. Actually took quite a bit of feed there, and then we need to blow some straw in, so we'll jump in the little fent for that. I need to make sure I don't ignore the fent and just use the case all the time now. We've brought that big new to us tractor. I was going to say new, but second-hand tractor. I always find that with FS, I don't know if you're the same, that when you buy a new tractor on a farm, you just want to use it for everything. And we should not ignore our fent, which has been with us for the last year. I'm slightly gutted that I sold the Ford, actually. I kind of wish I'd kept it just to have around the farm, but we couldn't afford the cash investment, I don't think. So there we go, cows are all done with straw. So I'm just going to say thanks for watching, folks. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, leave me a comment, and if you're not already, consider subscribing to the channel and turning on notifications. Catch you next time.